guys, I'm James from Reading FC Away Days, and this is going to be your Sheffield United preview for tonight's game. So tonight, Reading play Sheffield United, and it's safe to say it's going to be a game where both teams have really come into this with low expectations of what to think of their team. Sheffield United this season have really not lived up to the hype that they gathered in the Premier League. Obviously, last season finishing in the relegation zone in the Prem, but the season before that had a really good season with a top half finish in the Prem. Looking at it this season, though, it's safe to say that Slavisa Jovankovic is under a bit of pressure. Winless in November, and with his last win coming 5 games back now, they haven't really lived up to expectations, in my opinion. Coming into the season, obviously they were Prem club last year. A lot of people expected them to go up, but it's safe to say they've kind of had the opposite effect in sacking Chris Wilder. Sheffield United just don't really seem like the same team, and I feel like they've regressed more than anything as well. Billy Sharp being their top goal scorer and their top assist maker. 5 goals and 6 assists for him this season. It seems like he's kind of got the same impact that John Swift does at Reading. It seems like everything just relies through him. It seems like, well, I don't know if everything goes through him per se, but he seems to be the one that seems to be creating. He seems to be the one that's finishing. He seems to be the one in the final third that seems to be making the difference for Sheffield United at the moment. And with him being their top goal scorer and top assist maker, it really does seem like that's the case. In terms of Sheffield United as well, their away record has been quite poor this season. 2 wins out of 9 games really does show that they aren't comfortable when playing away from home. 15 goals conceded as well in that game, and they've got a -6 goal difference. It really isn't good signs, in my opinion. It's good signs for us, for Reading fans, because obviously we can go into this game obviously coming off that draw against Nottingham Forest. I feel like we're going to have a bit of momentum coming into that, because towards the end of the game we really did seem to push on a lot more, and we seem to have a lot more of the momentum in the game. As soon as Andy Carroll came off the bench, I seemed like that made a big impact for Reading, and I feel like that's something that we should really run with in this game. I feel like George Puskas and Andy Carroll should be the 2 that we start up front. I know Jovankovic doesn't really like to play I know Paunovic doesn't really like to play 2 strikers up front, but I feel like that's something maybe that we could explore in this game today. Andy Carroll and Puskas up front, with Puskas making runs in behind and Andy Carroll being the man to head it on and win things in the air. 9 times out of 10, Carroll's winning that stuff, and I feel like in this game tonight, if we use that to our advantage, get runners in behind Sheffield United, I feel like that's something that we should really be able to do. Having a look at Sheffield United as well, 17 goals have come in the second half of the game for them. So they've got a 77% rate of scoring goals in the second half. And that's something I think we should really be looking to take advantage of today. Sheffield United make slow starts in games, and that's something that Reading really try and need to make a big statement with, because if we can go ahead and get 1 or 2 in the first half, then obviously we know they're going to more than likely score in the second half. You know, we've got that advantage already. Obviously, we've made strong starts previously. Look at the game against Blackpool, where we were 2-0 up in the first half, but then we collapsed in the second half. I feel like if we can make the start that we did in that game, then we should be able to easily come away with a win. But at the same time, we don't want a repeat of what happened at Blackpool, because obviously we conceded 3 goals late on and ended up losing the game 3-2. Having a look as well, 32% of Sheffield United's goals have been scored after the 75th minute as well. So they've got 77% of their goals in the second half, and almost half of that have come in the 75th minute. So, you know, Sheffield United are a late goal scoring team, and that's something I feel like Reading tend to struggle with sometimes, with defending in that last 15 minutes. I feel like we get leads and then we put a lot of pressure on ourselves by just sitting back and not allowing us to go forward. Paunovic sometimes, with his game time decisions, with his substitutes, doesn't normally make the right decisions, in my opinion. I feel like his subs and his game management in games needs work on, and I'm hoping that in this game it's not going to be something that comes to bite us in the arse as well, considering that nearly half of Sheffield United's goals that they score in their second half come after the 75th minute. They've only scored 9 goals in away games this season as well, so they're averaging just 1 goal a game, and obviously that's something as well that Reading tend to concede at home quite a lot, is what I've noticed. Reading defensively this season just have not been solid. We've obviously tried to make improvements, signing Barbara Rahman, we've signed Scott Dan, and in my opinion, Rahman, he may have sorted out the left back side of things where we didn't have one, and a lot of people think he's a fantastic player, but the addition of Scott Dann just hasn't really helped at all. Seeing Tom Holmes come into the starting lineup though against Nottingham Forest, I thought was a big thing. Tom Holmes played really well in that game, and I thought, in my opinion, was probably Reading's man of the match. Defensively, he was solid, and you never really saw any parts where he was going one-on-one against a defender, against a striker, and you thought, right, this guy's getting past Tom Holmes. Because Tom Holmes, I feel like he brings that safety to the Reading squad, which, in my opinion, with Liam Moore and Scott Dann at the back, sometimes you can't really be too reliant on. There was too many times in that Forest game where Liam Moore was getting done up, and I thought that was a case where he had to be substituted, and it was the correct game time decision, or game management decision, by Paunovic, where he took him off for Andy Carroll. Looking into this game though, Reading, they average 1.5 points per game, whereas Sheffield United at the moment are averaging 1 point per game. Again, something where Reading have had this -6 point deduction, so we're currently sitting below Sheffield United. But again, I think with a win here, we can move above Sheffield United, despite having that 6 point deduction. So I feel like, in my opinion, this should be something that Reading really should be kicking off. And I feel like it could be the groundwork for our push for the end of season. I know we're expected another points deduction, and to stay up in this league, we're going to need wins. And in my opinion, I don't think we've got anything to worry about, but I know a lot of Reading fans are worried about staying up. So I think, the groundwork of this game could be what could push us on for momentum and just see out our season, if that makes sense. It's going to sound like a stupid thing, but it could just be a dead in the water season already, especially with these points deductions. In my opinion, I think the game's going to end 1-1 personally, even though I'm talking about how Reading need the win, we need the momentum and all this. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I can see us scoring in the first half and Sheffield United scoring in the second. For Reading, I think we're going to see a George Puskas goal. I think it's finally going to happen. The guy hasn't scored this season yet, and it's just not good enough. But I feel like maybe Pusky scoring in the first half gets the crowd finally on his side. But I feel like George Puskas, his career is kind of done at Reading at this point. But, it's a shame because I like Puskas, but I think that's the end of the road for him personally. But yeah, I can see him scoring tonight. 1-1. I'd like a 2-1 personally, but I can see the game being 1-1. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, what you think is going to happen. And it's good to see everybody back. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been James from Reading FC Away Days, and we'll see you guys next time.